Jill Swing.
Can we speak since those people aren't here?
We're gonna make sure we get you. Yes, sir.
Hey, so thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members, for allowing me to speak in support of S150. I apologize, I'm going to read because I know we have limited time, but I'm here to speak on behalf of my 14-year-old daughter. Here she is. I have a picture. Mary Louise has cerebral palsy and intractable epilepsy, and at one point, she was having 800 to 1,000 seizures a day. And in 2013, doctors told us that they had completely run out of treatment options for her. In 2014, we worked with state lawmakers to help patients like my daughter gain legal access to CBD oil. The problem was the bill allowed for legal possession, but no access. And this forced moms like me with chronically ill children onto the black market. And I can tell you, as you've heard from other people who have spoken, the black market is not where you want to get medicine for a chronically ill child or your loved one. We were sold products that we didn't even know if they were fit for human consumption, let alone whether they would have any therapeutic benefits. So I quickly learned that essentially every state is an island when it comes to cannabis legalization. And South Carolina needed its own comprehensive medical cannabis program. So that was in 2014, right? So 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 8 years. My daughter's 14. That is well over half of her life that I have been coming here to ask you all to allow us to have safe legal access to medicine that is currently available in 37 other states. And this is medicine that I have seen firsthand, and I know that it works for her. It decreases her seizures, and it improves her quality of life. As a mother of a disabled child, I've asked God so many times, why would you make my beautiful daughter have to suffer as she does? And why on earth would you entrust her care to me? I'm not a medical professional, and I'm not an educator, I'm just a mom. But I firmly believe that he made Mary Louise the way she is, and he gave her to me so that we could bring this medicine back to the patients of South Carolina. So I'm now asking all of you, I know the majority of you are supporters, but I'm asking you to not just be a yes vote, but to passionately urge your colleagues to vote yes on this bill and pass this bill. And for those of you who are still unsure or even opposed, please consider my daughter. Remember her face when you get ready to vote for this, because this is something that the patients of South Carolina need, but under a doctor's care and monitoring, not just the illicit market.
Okay, hold on a minute, Ms. Swain. We're gonna ask members of the committee that have questions for you, and I want to remind the committee, this is not the time that we're gonna cross-examine nor debate this legislation. It's only to ask brief questions to the persons that's presenting to us. At this time, would there be anyone that's got a brief question for the person? Mr. Gilliard.
Yes, and thank you for that explanation, Mr. Chair. Ms. Swing, you're somewhat of a poster child in Charleston County and the state for this cause. My question is, have you ever had to go out of state for treatment, take your child out of state for treatment?
Yes, Representative Gilliard, and thank you for that question. In 2016, well, really in 2015, my daughter's seizures went from not just these high frequency, hundreds of seizures a day, but she started having tonic-clonic seizures, which are what I always thought of, and probably many of you think of as the true convulsive seizures. Those seizures can cause brain damage, and they also can cause death. So this is a very serious situation for her. So we ended up taking her to Maine because they had a visiting, in most situations, we would have had to literally move out of state and change our residency, lose her benefits, separate her family. But in Maine, they had a visiting patient program, so we were actually able to use medical cannabis under a doctor's care and guidance we stayed up there for a month. And it was not what I expected. So medical cannabis, I was really looking for seizure control, but the very first thing I noticed was her ability to sit independently and stand independently. And this is not anecdotal because this is something I witnessed, and she does not have the intellect to, experience placebo, right? And I do have on the back of this, I have pictures. This is my daughter sitting up by herself and standing. And that's something she can't do now. And this is her outside. She's very photosensitive, and the wind is a trigger for her as well. And this is a picture of her outside in Maine with no sunglasses on, the wind in her hair, the sun on her face. This is what cannabis does to my child. She is not high. She is not impaired. She is alive. Okay? And this is 1 month of, I take pictures of her every time she has a seizure for documentation for her physician. She's on Epidiolex now. This is what the FDA has given us. Seizure after seizure after seizure. This is 1 month. And every one of those seizures is a great risk to her life and to her cognitive ability. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that testimony.
Any more questions or comments? Thank you so much. We move to the next person.